Hey guys, Todd with Great Escape Farms here. This is part 2 of Halfway Homesteading. It is a 24-hour journey or a video showing you what my life is like as a halfway homesteader. And what I mean by halfway is that I homestead as much as I can, but I have to sandwich a full-time job in there to be able to afford what I do. So in between work, after work, before work, and everything, that's what this video is all about. So please enjoy the second half here. Check our YouTube channel at Great Escape Farms for the first half of the video. Thank you very much and enjoy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn on just a little bit of water like this. Go ahead and put it in, and then I'll go all the way back through each of the large ones. I'll fill them right up. I just kind of go real quick over the little ones here. And again, I don't want it full blast. I want it just like this. So there's a little bit of an arch on it. I don't want to displace the water or disrupt the root system any. I just want enough on to wet the plants, and actually for the bigger ones I kind of want it to soak the plants because they tend to go through it quite a bit. They have a larger root system. That's why they're in the larger containers here. So let me go ahead and get on with that and move on to the next project. Hey guys, I found another project that I'm going to get into before I get into comfrey. So I'm standing in front of some pawpaw seedlings here. These are seeds that I planted on February 4th of 2017, and this is today is June the 6th of 2017. So you see I have them in various different stages. The big ones are here, and then I got little ones there. And I have other ones here. So these were from a pawpaw festival that I went to, and these are from a PDC class. Now they were all stratified, they were all planted at the same time, and these, you see right at the tip of my finger there, there's one just coming up there, and I see another one, yeah, and there's another one right over here at the tip of my thumb that's just coming up. So they say that these things can take 3 to 4 to 5 months to actually come up. So this is all an experiment to me. I have them in very close quarters. So I can't remember how many I had in here, probably a dozen or so. In this one I had, I think it was 67. I have it written down inside, but I believe it was 67 different seeds that I have in here. And if they all actually stick their head up and root out, that would be wonderful. And my thinking is that they hopefully will get enough root system that they will survive. And even though they're very, very close, once they go dormant and I can disturb the roots, I can tear them apart and actually have individual plants here. Not tear them apart, but untangle the roots and make individual plants out of them. So anyhow, I'm going to make a separate YouTube video out of this right here with a little more detail on exactly what's happening. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for the let's see, I'll probably call that pawpaw seedling update, and the details will be in that particular post. Hey guys, I'm in the office getting some notes here. As you can see, I have the dogs close at hand. I was munching on some non-GMO popcorn here, and they are standing around in case I drop any kernels at all. Anyhow, the reason I'm in the office is to gather some notes on the pawpaw tree here. I just want to make sure I have it right, so I gathered notes from my website as well as a couple other sites. I gathered just a little bit more on the pollination, and I'm going to go downstairs, set up a tripod, and go ahead and start working on the pawpaw video. Okay, so I'm getting ready to do the comfrey and take away my dog's food supply here apparently. So I'm going to do two things with it. So I have way more than I can use for comfrey tea. So what I'm going to do is initially make some comfrey tea. So I'll take this batch here as much as I can. I'll shove it in this 5-gallon bucket here. I will push it down as much as I can and just pack it in there, and then I'll fill it with water, and I'll have to weight it down with a brick to hold it down. And then I will cover it just to keep the smell in, and I'll take it back and put it in the shade, and in, I believe it's 4 to 6 weeks, I'll have to look on the exact timeline, it will be comfrey tea. I'll mix it with some water and use it as a compost tea, which will provide nutrient and everything to my garden area back there. The second use is to take this and use it as mulch around other different plants to help keep weed pressure down, as well as adding the nutrients and stuff in around those particular plants that I put in. While I'm here, one other thing I wanted to point out to you is the little hairs on this comfrey right here. So like my arm right now is rubbing on it, and it's not like stinging nettle or anything where it stings you, but if you're dealing with enough of this, it can just irritate the heck out of your hands and soft parts of your body. So you probably want to wear gloves. These are just cheap. I think they're 10 for $10 or something at Lowe's or Home Depot at the box stores, and that'll help protect your hands. And the way I'm going to trim this, I forgot to mention that, is I'm just going to take a knife and cut it and go from there. I would show you, but I don't have my tripod, and that's difficult to do one-handed. So just take a knife. I'm not too worried about how precise I'm doing it here. So this is what comfrey tea looks like when it's going in. I filled it up as much as I could, packed it down, filled it up with water. Actually, I put the rock on top, filled it up with water. I wrote the date on it, 6/7/17, so that way I know when it's time to come out. I can't remember how long it cooks right now, but I know I have weeks to deal with that. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take a paper bag, or I'm sorry, a plastic bag, spread it out, lay it across, and then use a bungee cord going around to kind of do a makeshift lid so that the neighbors don't smell this, because it'll smell to high heaven while it's brewing. And here's the finished product. Okay, so the comfrey is trimmed. That was the one under the nectarine tree. There's the peach tree. Let me spin on around here. This one looks like it was really hacked back, but I still have enough growth there. It should come back just fine. Leftover pieces were taken over to the hugel bed, and instead of walking over there and jarring you up, I'll just start taping from over there. Okay, so this is the hugel bed, or hugelkultur mound, which isn't very tall, but serves same purpose. It has it's a woody bed, wood buried underneath, and I have honeyberries here. Actually, I have lots of things in here, but honeyberry right there. And what I did is I took the comfrey, I folded it up, and I laid it on each side of the plant, and I have 4 of them here, so I put it underneath of each one. So one other side thing I'm going to do is I have a filter there, connect up to a hose. I'm going to go ahead and fill the pond up a little bit just to keep the fish happy and their water level at a safe level here. This is the next comfrey plant on my project list. So it is in the middle of the lawn. I used to have a tree here. It kept dying out on me, so I've given up on having a cherry tree here. So what I'm going to do is dig this comfrey plant up and put it into multiple different pots. So I dug it up and I actually got a good shot of comfrey here, so I wanted to get a picture of this. So the top part's the comfrey here that you see. Comfrey is known as a dynamic accumulator. Reason being, it has this great big long taproot, and I actually got a little bit of it here. So you can see that's probably about 2 foot down where that is, and it actually broke off. So some of it's going to stay in the ground, which means I'll probably get comfrey growing here for quite a while. But just wanted to point out that big long taproot, that's what everybody likes about comfrey. So this is what I ended up with right here. This was the one plant. I actually separated the crown right here to make 2 out of it, and what I'm going to do is trim the roots here. They say you only need 1 inch. I'm going to give it about 2 or 3 on each of the long pieces here. Leave the crown together. I might actually take and divide this crown in another piece, so that way I'll have 3 pieces of the crown, see how well that does, and the roots, and we'll go from there. Okay, got it all diced up. So these 3 pieces here, that's the main crown that I've separated. I feel fairly confident that all 3 of those will grow. The roots here, I've done this in the past. They grow, but a lot slower. What I'm not sure about is these. I pulled these off of the crown, and I don't know if there's really enough here. Let me see if I can get it up in the light. Don't know if there's enough here to really grow it, but it's an experiment, and that's part of the fun of this job, is you get to experiment and try different things. So I don't like to just regurgitate what I've read or seen elsewhere. I like to actually do it and experiment and learn. So that piece will be a learning process. This I've done before. I know it will grow, and I also know that comfrey wilts easily. Transpiration lets a lot of water go, so I cut off a bunch of leaves. If you notice, there's not many leaves here left, and actually I'm probably going to take this big leaf right here and cut it in half. So go across, cut it crossways like that, just so that I don't lose quite as much moisture. And then I will take and put these in the shade, not in the sun, until they get a little bit of root growth and they're able to take up the water. You want to get some dinner? You want to eat dinner? Do you want to eat some dinner? Oh, my girl's gonna lick her chops. She says, oh yeah, I want to eat some dinner. I want to eat some dinner. Let's go get some dinner. Let's go get some dinner. Murphy's running. Are you gonna run for dinner? We gonna get some dinner? Dinner time. The quietest these two are all day long. And then there is nightly feeding of the fishies. And the doggies are wishing that they had a little bit of this food as well. Okay, so the end result is I ended up with 18 of the smaller pots, 13 of the larger pots from 2 plants, and then you'll notice there's 2 right here that are a little bit larger. I repotted those. So those were in smaller pots. So have plenty of comfrey here. That is only 2 plants, like I say, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my area to add to. So I'm gonna end up with quite a few comfrey, and if they end up taking off the way I think they do, then I should be able to offer quite a bit of comfrey next year. Okay guys, it is time for dinner, so I'm gonna make a salad, and generally I buy my salad greens from the store, and I just buy a couple of things, or not buy, but grab a couple of things from here. So I'm gonna take a mustard leaf and an orach leaf. Oh, gotta be careful not to pull the old plant out of the ground. Excuse me. And let's see, I have an anise or anise hyssop here, so I'll grab that. That has kind of a licorice flavor to it. And I'm gonna grab 2 lemon balm leaves from right here. And I just take that. Oh, one other thing I want to grab is a New Zealand spinach leaf. Let me grab a young tender one. Actually, let me grab 2 of those. 2 tender leaves. And, ooh, I like onions. Let me throw a little onion. Let me make sure I'm not pulling garlic. Yep, that's onions. I throw a little onion scallion on top. And, ooh, let's get real creative and let's throw a little dill on top too. There's a little sprig of dill. Ooh, and now that I think about that, I have cilantro over here too. So this is the fun thing. You just kind of wander around, find all kinds of different stuff, throw it in, and I have borage that will eventually have flowers that taste like blue flowers, taste like cucumbers. So that's what I'm doing with the salad. So let me run this in and toss it on top of a bed of greens, and we are good to go for dinner. And this is dinner. So this will be my starting salad. I do have some leftover chicken laying around. I'm not sure if I want to have that or run to Chick-fil-A for the main part. Just no time to cook with everything else going on here. So, but definitely I'm going to have a good salad tonight. Okay guys, the evening is winding down. You can see out there it is getting dark out, or pretty much is dark. So not any other outside activities today. So what I'm going to do is bottle up some kombucha. So this big one over here is not quite done yet. I did a quick taste test on that one. These 2 right here, which is these 2 together, are 1 gallon, and that's 1 gallon. So these 2 are ready to bottle. So I'm going to grind up some ginger, add a little more sugar. I'm going to do a second ferment on those and bottle them. That will give it its carbonation as well as some flavor. So I'll add a little sugar to that. And to replace the 2-quart jars that I have over there, I have some tea right here brewing. It needs to cool, and once it gets down to room temperature, and once these are empty, or actually I won't use these bottles, I'll wash these bottles, but I have 2 clean ones that I'll go ahead and get another batch started right away, and that one will go downstairs to wait for the next one. If you're interested in kombucha, what it is, it's basically fermented tea, but if you have any interest in any further details on what I'm doing here and why, I have a separate video post out on that on my YouTube channel. Okay, the kombucha's all wrapped up. I have 4 bottles. One of them's in the back there. So 4 bottles flavored, sugar added for a second ferment, which will give it some carbonation. And this one I add a little more tea to, and it will get bottled up as the same time as these, so I'll do 2 gallons next time around. And in the back you'll see I have another bottle, and that's, I don't want to move stuff around here with one hand, but that is basically hoteling. I have extra SCOBY in there in case anybody wants some. So that's it for tonight as far as video wise. At this point, I'm going to run upstairs. We had talked about I have some research on apples, peaches, and I need to download all these videos and just kind of archive them off. And I'm not going to get anything posted tonight. It's getting kind of late. So this is I would say, typical day of what I do. There actually isn't a typical day. Everything's a little different. All the tasks are different, but it's kind of like this. I work at the engineering job during the day, and by early morning and late at night, do what I can for the business here, and spend a little time on the business, but a little time with family and relaxing on weekends. So this is a typical day. So that's it for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Have a great day.